Trevor, guess who plays tonight, man?
Them boys,
Hey.
man. Them boys play tonight.
Beat him, boy. Hold on, hold on,
Oh,
hold
you even got this
You know
shirt
what I
on,
mean?
man. You even got this
Yeah,
shirt.
man. Always, man. You gotta stay ready. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready. You know
hmm
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Trevor. But let's go ahead and kick it off, man. I'm Marquel,
And I'm Trevor,
and
and
this
this is the
the
Huddle.
Huddle. Yeah, man. So since we were talking about it, Trevor, let's go ahead and just kick off with that game tonight, man. What do you think? Who you think's gonna win, Cowboys, Giants, and why?
Honestly, this is surprisingly a tougher one than what I thought, but I think the Cowboys are
Beginning
gonna
the season,
win.
right?
Yeah. I think the Cowboys are gonna win. Because I think the Dallas defense is gonna turn over the New York Giants offense. So
I
that's
can see Daniel Jones getting a few strip sacks on him and whatnot. You know what I
hmm
mean? He's not very good with ball security.
yeah.
Cowboys are getting Jason Peters and Michael Gallup tonight too. So
Yeah, so and Cooper Rush, I think he does a good job of keeping things straight. He I'm not
does he
saying
do a good job? He does
I
a good
think
enough job.
yeah,
Yeah, he
that's
does a
what I'm
good enough
saying. Like he does a good
job.
job of like managing everything, making sure, things are straight as they can, as good as they can be. All they got to do is hand Zeke the ball, throw some
Really? Yeah, especially
throw
with
some
Jason
good,
Peters, especially with
yeah,
Jason Peters playing. Yeah, that line is pretty. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just make the right
Give it to Zeke and
decision.
Pollard.
Yeah. So as long as, you know, they take care of the ball on offense, I feel like the Dallas defense gonna show up.
Trevor, who would have thought that prime time NFL football would come down to Cooper Rush versus Daniel
Daniel
Jones? You
Jones.
know what
Uh,
I mean? Who
hey
would have
man,
thought,
NFL is like that,
man?
man. Next man up, right? So it's
Next
like
man up
that sometimes.
mentality. But while we're talking about the NFC East, man, are the Eagles not even in the NFC East? Are the Eagles the best team in the NFC right now?
In the NFC, oh, okay. I mean, through 3 weeks, yeah. Like overall, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but through 3 weeks, I mean, you can say that. I mean, top to bottom, I mean, it's hard to argue with a roster.
The thing is, when you look at the Eagles who have played in
Fair
these
enough.
three games, Washington,
hmm
Vikings,
hmm
mm, and Lions. We
hmm
just saw the two of the teams they beat play each other and battle it out. So you kind of see that they're on the same level. And then Washington is just Washington, but Carson Wentz, um, the offense was pitiful. He got sacked 9 times. And when I go back to that Monday night game against the Vikings, man, Kirk Cousins got pressured and he just threw it in the air, man. It was blasphemy if you ask me. You know what I mean,
hmm
Trevor? So
Yeah.
I can't say they're the best team, man. I can see I'm still putting Green Bay and the Bucks ahead of them. I know their offenses are struggling right now a little bit, but they winning games. And they have
Yeah.
elite quarterbacks and they both have great defenses. So
Yeah.
if I go into a game and I got to pick Aaron Rodgers or Jalen Hurts or Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts to get it done, I know who I'm going with.
I
you
feel
know,
you. I feel you, but I'll argue on behalf of the Eagles. Yes, the talent on the other team, or the level of competitiveness the other teams that they played is not as high as some other teams throughout the league have faced. But if you look at the games and look how they beat those teams, and how they're playing, how they're rolling from top to bottom their roster, I think that they definitely have a right to consideration for the best team in the NFC. Combined with the fact that the Bucks and the Packers have struggled, especially offensively, and the way that the Eagles defense has been playing as well.
but
So
they didn't really blow anybody out, Trevor.
That no, they didn't blow anybody out, but they put on some really consistent and in my
Consistent.
opinion, dominant play throughout, especially against the Commanders and the Vikings.
Hmm.
Now, against the Lions, I will say that was a really close game, and they that was a game where it was could have went either way. But I would say that the Eagles have a a high consideration for the best team in the NFC. I mean, of course, you still got the Rams, you still got the Bucks, you still got the Packers,
I'm
but
still going with the Bucks off of strength of schedule. So they beat Cowboys
mhm.
and made them look like the worst team in the NFL, which we obviously know they're not now after week two. They just ran into a brick wall with that defense. And then week two, they beat the Saints, which is another elite defense that they've had tons of problems with in the
Mhm.
past. And they finally got over that hump. This week, they lost to another team that I think is in the top two. So, and it was by 2 points. They didn't get the 2 point conversion. So, I I I still got to go with either the Packers and Bucks until the Eagles beat somebody of worth.
Fair enough. But I mean, you could also say that the Packers lost to a team in the Vikings that
And you could
week one looked great, but
oh well, they do that. They did that last year. They get whipped.
yeah, I
They get
mean,
the whip the first game and then they go crazy. So
yeah, but I mean, through 3 weeks, and the Eagles whooped up on the Vikings.
if you look
Now
if
it's
if you
different
look at how
because,
the Vikings played week one, man, they look like the top team in the NFC. You know what I mean? Like
but isn't that also a reflection on the Packers
it's
and
a
how they look?
reflection of who was more prepared on week one after the
But
preseason.
that still should count. Like through 3 weeks, that still should count because the
After we
Packers, I don't know what they were doing against Justin Jefferson.
after week one, we saw the real Packers, and Aaron Rodgers has been willing in the victories. Have we not? They just beat the
Yeah,
2-0
but I
Bucks,
mean, you're talking about the best team through 3 weeks. There's not much to go off of, so you got to
and
take
there's not much
all
in the
the.
NFC from what we see here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I'm saying that the Eagles should still like the Eagles should be
I'll
considered,
give him
man.
consideration, but I'm not
Okay,
giving it to
all right, that's all
him.
that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's go to a team, an 0-3 team
Mhm.
that none of us expected to be 0-3 right now. The Raiders. Is it panic time for the Raiders, Trevor?
I think so. I mean, you're 0-3. Like you have that.
Oh and 3.
You
Like
have that
what they
type of
say about the
talent.
0-2 teams don't even make the playoffs. So
Yeah,
imagine 0-3.
and their division that they're playing in. I know that the teams have struggled this past week, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I mean, at some point you got to get one win with the Devontae Adams signing, Waller at tight end. You have weapons on offense.
And
I think.
the worst part about it is that they've all been close losses to really good teams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like they played the Chargers, they lost close to the Cardinals, and they lost close to the Titans.
Yep. It's and it's tough when you're losing those games, especially when you had even the Cardinals game. Now that I feel bad for them because like, or I mean I don't know if I feel bad for them, but I know how they
It's
feel.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing because you had that big of a lead and you lost
Didn't
in
score
the
anymore.
yeah you lost in the thing. And honestly, their offense be stalling out. Like
It does stall out.
they have all that talent, but
I think it might have something to do with their offensive line. A lot of pressure gets
mhm,
put on Derek Carr. Like he gets a lot, they knock him down a lot. It gets a lot of hurries. So
mhm,
I would
yeah.
have to put that on the offensive line. I
Mhm.
don't know, but you can scheme out offensive line problems with keeping a tight end and keeping a running back in the blocks, things like that, to try to buy him some more time because Devontae Adams is open somewhere down there. He just don't have
Yeah.
time to throw it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And uh I think if they are going to right this ship, then they got to do something fast. Because I thought that they were going to win this past week. I didn't think that they were going to go
I thought
0
they
and
were gonna
3.
pull it. Yeah, I thought they were. In the back of my mind when we made our picks last week, I was like, something has to give. Both of
Yeah.
these teams are 0 and 2. I like the Raiders better, but the Titans have a better style of play. Like Derrick Henry, I knew he was gonna get it going eventually. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I knew it was coming, but yeah, man. So AFC West, Raiders in the last place, right? Let's
Yeah.
talk about a team that's tied for first place in that division. They played prime time
Crazy,
last
yo.
night, and probably some of the worst football I've seen this season, Trevor.
Yeah.
Like that boring game last night in Denver. What's
Hmm.
wrong with the Broncos offense, man? Russell Wilson, we saw glimpses of Russell Wilson looking like Russell Wilson
Hmm.
towards the end of the game, but like they don't look good. What's wrong with them,
They
Trevor?
don't. They don't look good, and it's it's really tough to for me to understand because they have weapons. It's not like they have very bad players,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason it doesn't look clean. It doesn't look smooth. They're having trouble moving the ball down the field, and they go on a lot of three and outs. Like
They do.
it's not like
They have trouble moving the ball, yeah. But
yeah.
I'll give the 49ers a lot of credit. Like shout out to our boy Emmanuel Mosley.
Mhm.
That defense is crazy.
49ers defense is usually always good.
Especially like
Yeah.
corners wise and stuff like that. So I won't even put that game on them. But like the
Hmm.
other two games, they didn't play great teams.
Hmm.
They played the Seahawks and the Texans, and the offense still struggled. So I want to go back to those two games. And I know Seahawks game turnovers on the goal line. It should have been completely different, right? They were moving the ball, fumbles on the goal line. You
Yeah.
can't have that happen. Somebody needs to get on that running back because I know the running back as well. Yesterday, he was having drops out of the backfield, like plays he probably could have gained like 5 or 6 yards on, which
Hmm.
make third down, or even sometimes second down shorter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I would call that out a little bit, but they have to figure out a way to one take care of the ball, and I don't necessarily like the play call in certain situations. Like I think they were on the goal line and they tried to run a freaking slant uh, on what is that, like the 2 yard line.
Hmm.
Russell Wilson can't make that pass. He's like 5'5".
It's funny you say that because we all know in the Super Bowl when he was
Oh,
with
when he
the
threw that
Seahawks,
slant, yeah.
yeah,
I didn't
that's
even
kind of
think about
crazy.
that, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't even think
but yeah,
about that.
no, I mean it. They're doing their job in terms of winning games. I mean, you're tied in first place and you're winning ugly. So just imagine, if they start to get things rolling, moving
Mm-hmm.
down the line. So they're doing their job at winning, even though when it doesn't look pretty. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time,
It's gonna come to
you
a point
got you
when you
got to
play
think,
play one
yeah,
of them high powered offenses.
you
That
got to
11
get
points
stuff
ain't gonna do
together.
nothing for you.
Yeah, you got to get
You're gonna
stuff
get
together.
whipped.
Mhm.
Man, we had to see another great game from out in Florida
Yeah,
yesterday.
that game was not. I watched that game.
The Miami Dolphins pulled off the game. There was a couple of game management miscues on the Bills.
Yeah. Hmm.
I like what Stephen A. Smith said earlier. He was mentioning the weather and
Hmm.
the climate as being part of what affected Josh Allen on the spike and mishandling the ball and stuff like that. But is Miami the best team in the AFC East, Trevor?
No, I
You
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so?
They're really close though. I would say it's a lot closer than what people think. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, the Miami team, like I'm seeing a lot of different I'm seeing
It's
a
a different
different
culture, right?
mentality.
Different
Yeah, I'm seeing a
culture.
different mentality, different culture, and it it looks right in
Offense looks way
Miami.
more explosive
Yeah.
too.
I don't think like yesterday. I was
Mm-hmm.
so ready to see that game. I don't remember
Never
being
been
so
excited to see the
ready
Dolphins
a
play.
Dolphins game. Yeah, and
Man.
and Tua is doing really well back there, running the offense.
Take care of the
The
ball too.
passes he's doing, yeah, he didn't throw a whole bunch, but I think he would have had more passes if he didn't go out in that
If
second
he wasn't concussed,
quarter.
right?
Yeah, if he didn't go out in before halftime,
We
but
won't talk about that though. But I think he was concussed. But
I think so too. But he got back out there.
so Trevor,
And
I know you said they weren't the best in the AFC
mhm.
East, but I think they have an argument to be the best in the AFC, man.
They do. I will say that they have an argument, but I still think that the Bills
Yeah, I still
are
have
the
the
best
Bills
thing because
up there
they
too.
were missing
But
their
that's not
two.
fair to say. You
Their,
can't say the Bills are the best team when they just lost to them.
I mean, okay. Through 3 weeks, we'll say Miami is the best team
Okay.
since they just beat them. But overall, like projecting out, I'm still gonna take the Bills because I
Mhm.
think from top to bottom, I like their roster a little better than Miami, and they was missing two of their defensive backs that game, which doesn't take
One of
anything
them
from
isn't coming
Miami.
back, though.
The whole season?
Yeah, one of them's out for the season.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, they're missing one of them that they're going to get back. And but that does like I said, that don't take nothing away from what Miami did, especially offensively, because like I said, I love what Tua, Tariq Hill, and Jalen Waddle and
Hmm.
the rest of those guys are doing. I forget the running back's name, number two, but he's been playing great. And the plays that McDaniels has been calling. Um, down there in Miami. I think that they're definitely gonna
And their
continue
defense
the
is pretty good too,
defense.
especially
Yeah.
defensive line with like Melvin Ingram and them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they definitely gonna contend. Like the gap is a lot closer than what people initially thought. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I'm gonna still take the Bills in the future. But right now, okay, Miami's best.
All right, so another team that we didn't even bring up in the AFC, best team in the AFC contender race is the Chiefs, team
Mm-hmm.
that's always competing for the AFC Championship. Ever since they got Patrick Mahomes, they actually lost yesterday to the Colts, and a big reason they lost, the run game was non-existent. I think
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher. It's just it's not great. Like
No,
he's
that's
not
not
Lamar
great.
Jackson or anything like that.
Yeah.
But is there a reason to worry about the Chiefs, or you think that's something that they can shore up and get fixed? The first 2 weeks they looked really good. Last week
Mm-hmm.
it's like the Colts found something in the scouting report to just shut it down.
Yeah, no, they can definitely fix some stuff and get things going because I mean, especially last year, we've seen the Chiefs have bad games
Mm-hmm.
and on special teams, they struggled last game as well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the cleanest game that they could have had. Um, and some miscues on offense and defense here and there. So, in my opinion, they just got to clean that stuff up. The Chiefs have a tendency to come out and I wouldn't say not play hard, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of just show up sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're not as sharp as
They
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 could
do
be.
kind they do kind of come out lackadaisical. And it
Hmm.
seems like they take teams for granted.
Hmm.
Sometimes I hear you on that one. Yeah.
But yeah, I think they can share it up and move forward.
All right. Let's go one more team, Trevor,
Hmm.
that's having a ton of struggles, and we mentioned them a little bit earlier. The Cardinals, man. What is wrong with the Cardinals? And can they fix it? I don't even have a take on this. Like I don't understand what's wrong with them. They have so much talent.
Hmm.
They have a lot of carryover from last year. Like, what is the problem? Is Kyler Murray playing too much Call of Duty, man?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna put
No, the
them like
beta
that.
came out last week, Trevor.
It
The beta
did.
came out. Hey?
Yeah, I know. But now
You have a lot
I'm
of
not
time to
gonna
watch
put that on
football,
Kyler because they already, did them dirty with the
man. Contract. Yeah.
contracts situation and all that stuff. But I think that they're always playing from behind.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
they they
They
they
start slow.
yeah, starting slow.
They
not
do
getting
pick it
stuff.
up towards the end though.
They
Like they
do.
look by the third quarter, they look like what you expected them to start like. But how do
Hmm.
you fix that, Trevor? How do you get a team to respond?
I
Like
think.
start the fight. Our Coach Gross used to say, "Start the fight, start the
Hmm.
fight." You know what I mean?
And I think we'll say defensively, you wanna go out and I guess be more aggressive and attack versus trying to protect. If that makes sense. You want to be aggressive, be physical, and of course, it's tougher for defenses in this era of football with all the rule changes and things that kind of lend towards the offense. But on the defensive side, make sure you're not blowing coverages and stuff like that as well. But on offense, I think that they could probably switch some stuff up with the play calls and
Mm-hmm.
uh, get things moving a little faster, get in the groove
Get
a
get
little
some get
earlier.
like some shorter stuff. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
like
Like quick
dropping back.
passes,
Yeah.
screenplays, stuff like that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah, and probably uh, lean on the running game a little bit uh,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that Kyler is really good at off schedule plays and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
establish a running game,
Yeah.
get in the groove a little earlier on offense.
Okay. All right, Trevor. So let's get one more serious NFL topic off before we get to the fun stuff, man.
All right.
Who who is the league MVP front runner right now, in your opinion?
I think it's Lamar Jackson, man. Uh the amount of offense that he accounts for
Mm-hmm.
with the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, it's a video game.
Yeah, it is, right?
I think he's on pace to score like a total of like 65 touchdowns or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
if he continues this pace and rack up a whole bunch of yards. I think it's Lamar. And right now, through 3 weeks, I would say that Jalen Hurts is a honorable mention for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Close,
yeah,
close runner
yeah,
up.
yeah, because I mean Jalen Hurts. I think I heard a stat like if you stack Jalen Hurts offensive stats on against like whole teams,
Yeah, he's
he's like
like
11th or
top
something like
11.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, anytime you're putting up numbers like that, it's you got to be considered through the
Yeah.
first 3 weeks, So
Yeah, I'm gonna go completely opposite of you, Trevor.
mhm.
I gotta go with Michael Parsons,
I
man.
knew
I
it.
know I got to like I know a lot
Nah,
of
I
the
feel you.
time
I
I
feel
know a
you.
lot of
I
the
feel
time
you.
they don't give defensive players MVP,
Mhm.
but like at the pace he's on, he's on pace to have like 34 sacks in a season, which is unheard of.
That's yeah.
Like,
No,
and
I like it.
he's not a defensive lineman. He's a
Mhm.
linebacker. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah.
like the I gotta have him as my front runner right now. Of course, I have Lamar and Jalen Hurts and
Mhm.
Josh Allen. That's close
Mhm.
second, close runner ups. But right now, I'm going defense. I'm working with Michael Parsons.
You know what, Marquette? I like that.
Yeah.
Because like you just mentioned, a lot of times positions or players that don't play the quarterback position, they
Hmm.
don't get a whole bunch of love in terms of the MVP
Yeah.
award. So I like advocating for other positions
Hmm.
to win that award, man.
Yeah, man.
And Micah Parsons doing his thing. Not no lie, he's well deserving of
Maybe
that
if the
consideration.
podcast keeps going up, Trevor, you know what I mean? We'll get some votes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Most definitely.
All right, so now let's get to the fun stuff, Trevor. The NFL is getting rid of the Pro Bowl and
Hmm.
they're revamping the whole week for different events and then a flag football game, which I think is really, really cool because
Hmm.
they weren't the Pro Bowl was pointless. They weren't even hitting.
Yeah.
They were just out there playing around. Now flag football, at least they'll be a lot more competitive because
Hmm.
it
You
won't
go
be no,
harder. You go a
it's
little
not as much of
harder.
there's not as much of a risk for injury. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about it, Trevor?
No, I think it's awesome, man, because the Pro Bowl, like you said, it was kind of like football light. It
Hmm.
wasn't like real football, and you
Yeah.
could tell it's
It was a waste of
awkward.
time, is what it was.
Yeah, and it's awkward because, they're
You don't want to
not
hurt
going full
anybody.
speed, and you
Yeah.
don't want to hurt anybody, which is understandable. I mean, it's a game that doesn't count.
Hmm.
It's really just to recognize the best players in the league, uh, and you want to make it fun, you want to make it entertaining
Hmm.
as possible, and doing it a week long because I mean after a while I didn't watch a Pro Bowl. I used to watch it when I was
Hmm.
little, and it used to be more physical when it was little. I mean everybody knows that Sean Taylor hit uh, back when he had that hit in the Pro Bowl. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's changed, it's different, and it's understandable because the game doesn't count towards anything really.
Yeah.
It's just to show and showcase the best players in the league, and you don't want anybody to get hurt. So I think they're doing the right thing and making it a week long thing. It's kind of I don't think it'll be the same as all basketball All Star Weekend,
Hmm.
but
It'd be
it's a
similar.
step in the right direction. Yeah,
Hmm.
it can if they continue to build it up, it could get there. It really could.
Yeah, man. All right, Trevor. So over the weekend, getting like Thursday, Friday ish, there were a lot of rumblings about like who was going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. A lot of people thought it was going to be Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
I would have been pissed if the Super Bowl halftime was Taylor Swift. I'll just say that right now. Like I don't hate Taylor Swift or anything, but I would not have enjoyed that. I wouldn't even watch the game unless the Cowboys were playing. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I
But
feel
they blessed me yesterday when we found out the love of our lives, the love of everybody's life,
you.
the
Riri.
beautiful Rihanna will be doing the halftime show. Trevor, what you
Yeah.
think, man? What you think, man?
Nah, I'm excited for it. I think everybody was excited when they dropped the news, and I think the NFL is uh they're looking for those big names when uh it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show. Like
Mm-hmm.
last year, we
That was a
had
big one.
Snoop, we
Yeah, I was
had
like, you can't go
Dr.
from that
Dre, and
to you can't go from that
yeah,
Taylor Swift.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
weekend year
yeah.
before,
Hmm.
they've been in their bag lately.
Yeah, they've been really trying to put on a performance at halftime for the Super Bowl. And they've always done that, but I think that they're trying to get a different feel in it a little bit as well, like diversify a little bit. Um, and I think it's a step in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to Rihanna performing, and I think she's gonna do a good job. We have a lot of high hopes for her, so.
Yeah, yeah. She never lets down, except for
Mhm.
when you're waiting on the album. That's all. Shit. But let's go over these predictions real quick, Trevor. So
Yeah.
last week you had an awful week, Trevor. You one
Oh
and four.
man, it was
One and
terrible.
four. I was 3-2.
Couldn't win a game, man.
Browns
Couldn't
over
win
the
a game.
Steelers. Me. Titans over Raiders. Me. Dolphins over the Bills. Me. And you won the Rams Cardinals one, and we both lost the Packers Bucks. I almost went with the Packers too. That would have been an amazing week.
Yeah, man. I
So
thought I
I was
thought
close because I knew Mike Evans wasn't playing.
mhm.
But right now I'm sitting at 9-6. You're sitting at 7-8 now. So let's see if you can do a little better this week. Thursday night, Dolphins Bengals. I'm going
I, I
Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins too. It's hard to go against them, especially with the Bengals and their line troubles against.
The Bengals are gonna be wearing in white uniforms though, with the white helmets,
Ah,
man. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I did
Hey,
see that.
hey,
I
you
did
look
see that.
nice. You look nice. You play nice.
I
You know
did.
what I
Nah, man. I mean,
mean?
them Dolphins, they looking a little nicer, man.
Yeah, they are. They are. I like that, Trevor. All right. Cowboys versus the Commanders. I'm going Cowboys.
Cowboys. I mean, it's yeah,
All
Cowboys. I ain't got nothing to say
right.
about it.
All right. Titans Colts.
I gotta go Titan.
I think I'm going Colts after they beat
Okay.
the Chiefs.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Titan. Yeah.
I'm going Jonathan Taylor, Matt
This
Ryan.
next one,
Yeah, Bills Ravens. This one is hard, but I know exactly who's gonna
yeah,
win. The Bills are gonna be on a freaking rampage after last week. You saw that offensive coordinator list,
yeah.
and
Man,
the Ravens defense is awful. So
I
yeah,
gotta catch up with you, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Raven. I
All
got to.
right, Trevor. All right, you
Yeah.
know 2 games back, man.
I got to make some moves, man. I
All
can't
right,
just
this the
pick
last one's
whoever
hard.
he
The
is.
last one's hard too. Chiefs Bucks. I'm going Patty Mahomes. That's my fantasy
Yeah, I'm
quarterback.
going
He need to
Chiefs.
play good.
I'm going Chiefs.
Play good. Mike Evans gonna be back. Trevor, you sure?
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. I saw you know me. I like Pat, and
Remember,
I can't
Trevor,
go
the
against.
Bucks have the one of the best front
They
fours,
do.
best run
They
defense.
do.
And you saw what happened when the Chiefs couldn't run the ball last week. I'm just gonna remind you. Yeah.
No, no, no. I feel you. I feel you. But I'm still going Chiefs, man. And we know what happened with them in the when they played the Bucks in the Super Bowl. That's Sunday night, right? Sunday night game.
Yeah, Sunday night football.
Yeah,
Sunday night football on
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But all right, Trevor.
All right, man.
I enjoyed this episode of the Huddle. And we want to thank everybody as we always do. If you enjoyed, go ahead, hit that like, that subscribe, follow us on IG. We've been posting on there more. You slide in our DMs with questions or anything, we'll answer them on here. Uh, and as always, if you want to, you enjoying it, you having fun, you listening to us, just tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? Spread the word. You feel me? So
Spread that word, man.
spread that word. But we'll see you next week on a new episode of the Huddle.
Peace.
Peace.